Shabbat Shalom. It's Ruben Ebrahimoff, the Haftorahman. This week's Haftorah, well, we're starting a new book, Bamidbar. And where does the Haftorah come from? The book of Hosea. Why are we reading this Haftorah? Well, if you say Bamidbar, I'm in the desert, lots of sand in the desert. Here, the Haftorah comes from the book of Hosea. What does his name mean? Hosea means God, Hashem, will save. He is part of the Treasar, of the 12 prophets in the books of the minor prophets. Nothing minor about him, especially him. He has the longest scroll, 14 chapters, in the book of Treasar. Hosea lived in a time before the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. And he is one of the men that are appointed to warn the Jewish people that they should avoid being destroyed. In his time, you also had Micha living, Hosea living, and yes, Yeshayahu living. So, and Amos. That was the four of them. And they were predicting, and they were preaching, and they were begging the Jewish people to do teshuvah. Let's see if they listened. So, comes from Perek Bet, Pasuk Aleph, chapter 2, the first Pasuk. And here we see the connection to the Parashah right at the beginning. V'hayom mispar b'nei Yisrael kechol hayom. And the number of the Jewish people will be like the sands of the sea. Bing! Sand, Bamidbar, sand from the as plentiful as the sand of the sea. And that the Jewish nation has sinned as a disloyal wife sins against her husband. That remember that you have the famous story at the beginning that Hashem says to Hosea, I don't like what's going on with the Jewish people. And Hosea says to God, guess what? Go find yourself another nation. He says, Hosea, I have a request to make. I need you to go get married. He says, okay, Hashem. He goes, I want you to marry this woman over there. He says, which woman? He says, this woman Gomer. He says, Gomer, are you out of your mind, God? I'm a prophet. She's a prostitute. He goes, but I'm God. Listen to what I say. And he marries her. And every night, she goes out. He doesn't know where she's going. She comes back. He doesn't know where she's been. Anyway, they have 3 children. And God appears to Hosea and says to Hosea, I need you to divorce her. He goes, hold on a minute. He goes, listen, God is speaking to him going, she's a prostitute. He goes, yeah, but I have kids. He says, do you know that they're your kids even? And he goes, stop. I love her. I don't care if she's disloyal to me. And God goes, aha! Now you know how it feels. I'm God. You're my nation, Israel, and you're disloyal to me. You go behind my back, you worship Asherah, you worship Baal, and you worship Molech. But I don't care. I love you. I'll never give up on you. And let's make this relationship work. But you got to cut out this extracurricular activity. So now, there's these prophetic blessings for Bnei Israel, and that they will return to the land of Israel, that V'nikbetzu Bnei Yehuda, that the tribe of Yehuda will be gathered, and they will return to the land of Israel, and it will have Rosh Echad, one leader, and that this will be the great day, Yom Yisrael, the great day in Yisrael. So we go from Lo Ami Atem, you are not my nation, and we go to Bnei Kel Chai, the nation, the children of the living God. Haftorah continues that now we're called Ami. Remember, Hosea's children, one of them was Lo Ami, and another one was Lo Ruchama. Now, Hechlifu et Shemot, that they changed the names, and now the people are known as Ami and Ruchama. So now, what is going on? We get told off from us being faithless to God, for not paying attention to God and for worshiping idols. And that now we're being told off, Lo Ishti, you are not my wife. God is speaking to the people, Lo Isha, this is not how you behave with me. And that now, because of your znus, the way you're prostitute, the way you're disloyal and unfaithful to me, that now you're going to be exiled. And it says that in those days that the women would wear gold necklaces and that they were using it to attract the men to stumble and to fall and to not behave themselves correctly. But now it's saying, it's as if that I'm going to strip you naked and embarrass you for what you did for me, that you're going to be shameless. I'm going to send you back out into the desert. And as far as your sons go, ve'espaneha lo arachem, I'm not going to have mercy. Bekivinei zununim hema, that you are children that are from immoral relationships, that you were immoral with these people. Elcha acharei ma'ohavei, that now you went after and you did things that you should not do, and that the punishments are coming, that you're going to be in hot water. V'gadarti es gedera, that I'm going to put a geder, I'm going to put a fence up and separate you. V'ridfa es me'ahaveha, and that she'll run like she used to run after her lovers. Ishi harishon, my first husband. Now all the blessing is taken away. Hadagan v'hatirosh v'hayitzar, that I gave her all of these blessings, and now what do? Asula Baal, you misused your blessing. So many of us have tremendous blessings. Do we channel our energy correctly, or do we use it into damaging things? And you know what happens? There's no amount of Lashon Hara that will exhaust a person. It's almost like this defies all rules of physics, that you think somebody would get tired. But people are tired of talking Lashon HaTov. They're tireless for talking Lashon Hara. This is a problem that we have. So now, Lachein Ashuv, that you should return and come back to me. So now it continues. The prophet is laying into the people, and that is saying that this is how you held Shabbos and the Chagim. You don't deserve to enjoy the Chagim. It shouldn't be yours anymore. And that all the blessing, it's going to be taken over. It's going to be taken away. Yemei HaBe'alim, the days of the worshipping of the idols and doing Zanus, is over. Now, people have to do Teshuvah. That's the point here of the Teshuvah, and that they were going to go from being out in the desert, out in exile, and they're going to be brought back to Kirameha, to the vineyards of the land of Israel, and that now there's going to be a promise between God and the nation of Israel in the future with his nation. So now there's going to be a new relationship between God and Israel. And Tikre'i Ishi, I will call you my betrothed, my wife, and you will get rid of all the Baalim, all of the god of Baal will be cut out of the land of Israel. And then here we have one of the most amazing psukim that we say every morning when we're putting on the tefillin. It's our wedding ring with God. It says, Ve'erastich li liolam, I'll betroth you forever. Ve'erastich li b'tzedek u'v'mishpat, and I will betroth you with tzedek, with righteousness and justice, u'v'chesed u'v'rachamim, with kindness and with mercy. Ve'erastich li be'emunah, I will betroth you in faith. Ve'yadata es Hashem, and you will know Hashem. So these magnificent words that are spoken in the books of the Nevi'im, in the books of the prophets, selected for this Haftarah, but we say it every day. We say it in every day except Shabbos, that we put on our tefillin, and when we're wrapping the tefillin on our fingers, we have to remember that I am married to you, God, and I would never do anything to upset you. I love you. I want to be close to you. I don't want to upset you. I will greatly benefit by your being happy with me. What a Haftorah. Shabbat Shalom. Enjoy the Haftarah.